As a Bears fan growing up, what's this experience been like for you this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, this really, made it a reality this week. Obviously, the last time I talked to all you guys, I was kind of in shock of the situation. Everything happened super quickly. And it was tough to wrap my mind around it, right away for sure. But, I had, a couple days after that to really, internalize it and get ready to go. So I showed up here just ready to work and get after it every day.
Did you have a moment when you walked into the locker room for the first time, saw your name, Bears C?
Yeah, I mean, that's a cool moment. Definitely had it. I know what the logo means to so many people in this city. And I was impacted by the team growing up. That was one of the reasons why I fell in love with the game was watching the Bears. As a kid. So I understand what it means to the people of this city, to the people who wear it, to the people who have worn it in the past. And obviously I haven't gone through it yet, so there's still things that I need to learn and get through my mind and figure out, and I'm just happy to go through it.
What kind of reaction did you get from your friends after you were drafted by the Bears? Guys you grew up with as Bears fans.
I mean, everyone lost their minds, to be honest. Like, they were all so fired up. The video of the phone call got released, and everyone heard, my family's reaction in the background, and my friends were exactly the same. They were, fired up for me. Leading up to the draft, they kind of asked me, growing up as a Bears fan, if you go somewhere else, like, what are you gonna do? Because, it was a huge part of my life, and. Yeah, so obviously they were fired up.
This is a dumb question, but just getting Bears gear, is that kind of cool?
Yeah, I mean, everything, I think it's awesome, and I appreciate what I'm getting for sure, and I understand that, there's a lot of work to be done. So on one hand, obviously I'm super excited to be in the opportunity, but now it's like, all right, what are you going to do with it? So yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
What is the process like in terms of learning an offense for a center?
Yeah, I mean, for all offensive linemen, it's similar. The center has a different role than the other players on the offensive line, so you have to make all the calls. And there's also, another level of, as a center, I want to make sure that, my other four guys are right. So, yeah, I mean, obviously you have to focus on what you need to do, learn what you need to do, but also have a good understanding of what the other four guys are doing at, each different play.
How are you going to kind of learn that as you go forward? Because obviously I'm sure when you come back in a week, you're going to want to know everything. When you join the veterans, you're going to have buddies help you, or you're going to do tests, how are you going to kind of spend the next week?
Yeah, it's a process to learn a new offense. And you just kind of have to go into it with an open mind every single day, understand, what's being installed, study a ton, and then, obviously get help from older guys who have, had experience, ask questions, and, really just dive into it. And that's what, the last 3 days have been for me.
Offensive linemen that this team drafted. Do you feel like that's to your benefit, having others who are going through the exact same experience, so you're not just like the only offensive lineman part of this draft class, only rookie having to learn?
Yeah, I think it's good to go through things with people, and especially offensive linemen. We're the closest group on the team, so to have other younger guys with me will be definitely huge going forward, and obviously I look forward to growing those relationships with those guys.
Have you had a chance to talk to Lucas Patrick yet, or any of your?
I have, yes. He reached out. Obviously, in the next week, I'll get to meet him, get to meet the rest of the room, and really just get ready to get after it.
Doug, when you're drafted where you are, it just seems like it's important to be in the right spot, or in a team that fits what you do. How important is that to you, and how good is the fit here? Can you get any idea with this offense just how well it fits what you do?
Yeah, as a football player, I just wherever I was going to go, I was just going to go full speed, dive into the playbook, and just try to play to the best of my ability. And that's really my mindset, just get after it every single play. It's nice when, certain things that you're going to do are, play to your strengths. But yeah, I mean, whatever gets thrown at me, at the end of the day, I just want to help the team win.
Is there one big thing you want to work on now that you've got these 3 days behind you between now and the next minicamp?
Not one big thing. I got, a ton of things that, I can improve on. I mean, I would just say in general, just the details, just being more detailed in everything I do. I think, we're at the next level now, and that's really one thing that sticks out right away is the margin for error is really small. So you have to be locked in and focused on, really everything you're doing.
What are you telling yourself as far as I belong here and not be, and next week you got everyone coming in, you're wearing this uniform, it's got to be, I would think, overwhelming a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to have confidence in yourself and your ability at the end of the day. I was drafted here, and this is the reality now. So now it's just about taking it to the field and the film room, getting to meet the guys in the offensive line room, become a part of that room, and earn that spot.
Did you have a favorite band growing up?
Yeah, I did. So before I started playing offensive line, it was Brian Urlacher and Devin Hester. Those are the two guys that, I think a lot of young kids growing up in Chicago loved. And then once I started playing offensive line, Olin Kreutz was the guy that I always watched. I just loved, the way he played the game, what he stood for, and really, he just got after it every single play, so I loved him. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
So you spent draft weekend with your brother. Did you guys have propositions going about who would get drafted first? What was that like going into it?
I mean, it was awesome just having the two of us getting to celebrate draft weekend together. We were both Team Thomas, so whoever went just went, and we were excited.
Are you guys twins or?
I got him by 2 years. I'm older brother. Yeah. What was that?
Even when you were apart, you were like 20 miles apart, right?
Yeah, tops.
What's it going to be like?
Are you talking training?
No, I just mean in life. I mean.
Oh yeah,
he
no.
was in high school, you were at state.
Exactly.
What's that going to be like to be apart from each other?
I mean, we're super close. I'm sure we'll still talk every day and try and, remain as close as we are. So it'll be interesting being far away from each other for the first time, but we'll be fine.
How much has it helped you with your development just throughout the years from when you were a little kid through college, just having a brother like that that's doing the same thing and going through the same thing?
I mean, it's been a huge help. He's a D lineman, and I'm an O lineman, so we've taken thousands of reps against each other. I know everything about him. He knows everything about me. So we've sort of helped develop each other.
So family party, you'll just kind of get down in your stance.
Yeah, do a little one-on-one real quick. Yeah.
Is there anything that he's taught you from like a defensive lineman point of view, where you've been able to use that in a game, be like, oh man, my brother taught me this when we were just messing around?
I mean, yeah. During the season, we would watch film, and then we would kind of tell each other what we were seeing, and then he would mimic what I would see as like the D lineman, and I would mimic what he would see as an O lineman. So, yeah.
I think played a little bit of right guard in the past, but how's that transition been? Because haven't you been primarily playing tackle the past couple years? So how's that transition been going back from tackle to right guard?
I mean, I personally think it's been all right. I mean, obviously, I did tighten up a little bit of my footwork and in certain aspects of my game, but I think I'm adjusting well, and I'll continue to do so.
What was some of the feedback you got from the coaches this week, the first time they got to kind of see you out here on the grass?
I mean, I've just I've been trying to develop as a guard, as I just said. So I feel like I've gotten good feedback. I've gotten a lot of really good coaching points from Coach Morgan and Coach King. So I think as time goes on, I'll just continue to build on what I have already.
What's kind of if you could pick like one technique thing that's going to be kind of on your mind over the next few weeks, what's going to be the one thing?
It'll probably be my pass pro lean. I gotta get out of my stance and kind of pop my shoulders back, kind of stay in that posture. I would probably list that as number one right now.
It Seems like these practices have been pretty high intensity. How would you say the speed of the game is different from college to now, even though it's just rookie minicamp?
I mean, yeah, the real vets aren't even here yet. But I've already felt the notch turn up a couple. I can already imagine what it's going to be in a week when I get back. It'll probably turn up a couple more.
How have you been approaching this weekend? Like, I'm a rookie, I'm just trying to get my feet wet, learn as much as I can, or you know what? There's an opportunity maybe for me to win a starting job, and can I take advantage of that as much as I can?
I think right now I'm just trying to learn as much as I can about the game. Between college and the NFL, it's been a little bit of a leap. We'll see once the vets get here what happens, but right now I'm just trying to learn as much as I can and really get going,
One thing that's been the biggest leap, the biggest difference between the college game and the NFL for you?
I mean, I haven't really even seen the speed of the game live yet, but I've seen it in film, and I know that'll probably be the number one.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, guys.
So, how have your impressions of rookie minicamp been over the past few days?
It's been good. I didn't really know what to expect. I've never gone through it before, but coming in the building, everyone's super nice. Everyone wants you to succeed, and it's good to have a good atmosphere where everyone is competing and wanting to get better.
Is there a way to prepare for the elements you may see 6 months from now? Are there things you can do to ensure that your kick can hold up to the cold and the wind and all of that?
Yeah, I think just kind of focusing on my technique, focusing on my form. No matter what the conditions are, I still have to punt the ball. It's the same punt. It's not anything really different. It's really the same thing. But you just have to kind of take into account to the elements if it does get pretty extreme. But I'm just trying to focus on just getting better every day, just getting better at dropping, getting better at punting, holding, everything. But yeah, those are the big things I'm working on.
What have been your impressions of just the rookie class as a whole? Have you gotten to get to know any of the guys personally at this point?
Yeah, I've said a couple hellos to a lot of people. Everyone's cool. Everyone wants to do well, and so it's good to have the competition there too as well, and just kind of getting people in the same circumstances and same situations as you. It's cool to kind of bond over that as well.
When you're a punter, who's like a role model growing up? Like, who do you aspire to be like, or who have you watched, just, even when you were really young?
Yeah.
Who have you watched say, that's how I should do it,
Yeah, so kind of coming out of high school, I started kind of watching a little bit more, but I went to college with A.J. Cole, and he's been a great role model for me. I work with the same trainer as Bradley Pinion and Sam Martin, so those are two really good guys who've almost been in the league for 10 years, and it's good just kind of get information and advice from them and just grow and use what they tell me.
I've been working with Richard Hightower.
It's been great. He knows a lot. He knows a lot about punting. Most special teams guys are kind of more special teams wise, and they don't really understand the full aspects of specialists. But he's been great. I love him. I love working with him. I love getting in meetings and watching film with him. And he's had some great advice for me.
Is there anything in particular that stands out oh wow, this is something new that I've learned that's awesome?
With holding a little bit, he taught me something, and I was like, man, why haven't I been doing this the whole time? But I'm appreciative of him and what he's brought to me.
For most players, rookies coming in, there's always the speed of the game aspect in making the jump to the NFL. For a punter, what's the big jump going from kicking in college to kicking in the pros?
Kind of like the answer before, a punt's a punt, I'm going to go as fast as I can. I'm going to hit the ball as far as I can. I wouldn't say there's that much of a jump. I think it's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
Anything else?
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Yeah.